As long as he is in contact with matter, he has to execute work in terms of material necessities. Krishna consciousness, however, brings one into his spiritual life, even while one is within the jurisdiction of matter, for it is an arousing of spiritual existence by practice in the material world. The more one is advanced, the more he is freed from the clutches of matter. The Lord is not partial towards anyone. Everything depends on one's practical performance of duties in Krishna consciousness, which helps one control the senses in every respect and conquer the influence of desire and anger. And one who stands fast in Krishna consciousness, controlling the above-mentioned passions, remains factually in the transcendental stage of Brahma Nirvana. The eightfold yoga mysticism is automatically practiced in Krishna consciousness because the ultimate purpose is served. There is a gradual process of elevation in the practice of yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi. But these only profess perfection by devotional service, which alone can award peace to the human being, is the highest perfection of life. Yeah. So this particular verse is a very, very famous verse, is famously known as the peace formula. So to understand this, let's first of all agree on what the problem is. And the problem, tell me if you don't agree, is there is no peace and tranquility in this world. People are upset, their mind is depressed, they are depressed. As a matter of fact, depression and mental illness is number one problem in Canada now, probably in the whole world, but I can speak for Canada, it's number one problem. Above cancer, above heart attacks, above strokes, above car accidents is number one problem. Even above drunkenness. So, first of all, if we agree on that problem, then only we can look at the solution. So I have to ask you, do you agree that it's a problem? People are not at peace. This age of Kali Yuga is not a peaceful age. As a matter of fact, it's called age of quarrel and hypocrisy. And you can see what's going on in the world. Right now, the Israelis and the Hamas are fighting. In Ukraine, there's fighting going on, and commercial airplane, as you know, was down. 289 people or 298 people dying. And it just goes on every part in the world. What's going on? So if we have a problem, then we have to look at the solution. And to have the solution, we need to understand what's the process to get to that solution. And this verse talks about that. So first of all, one of the reasons for the lack of peace is that since time immemorial, we have been claiming to own what's not ours. In Ishopanishad, Sri Ishopanishad, it says, Ishavasas idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. It says, Krishna is the owner and proprietor of everything. He has given us a quota of whatever is we are supposed to enjoy. We're supposed to work with that, but we're not satisfied with it. So we are trying to claim ownership of what doesn't belong to us. It's like a renter in an apartment saying, no, this apartment is mine. Well, no, it's not yours. He's a landlord. You've simply been given the privilege of staying here as long as you pay the rent according to the terms of the contract, the lease contract you have signed. But we are ignoring that contract. We're saying, no, we are the owner, and therefore we are the proprietor, and therefore we are the enjoyer. Krishna says elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvajnanam Bhokta cha Prabhudevcha. I am the actual enjoyer of all sacrifices. I am the enjoyer of everything. And we are saying, no. We are the enjoyer. You are mistaken, Mr. Krishna. And so that causes a problem. And we can see some examples. For example, Ravana. What was Ravana trying to do? He was trying to enjoy Mother Sita, who is none other than Mother Lakshmi, who you can say is as a consort of Lord Vishnu, is the property of Lord Vishnu. But here was Ravan trying everything, trying every trick that he knew to enjoy Sita. Well, he's not allowed, period. And therefore he was killed. But before he was killed, he went through a lot of tribulation, losing so many brothers, so many soldiers, his own son, and so on and so forth in the battle, before he died himself. We have another example of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was so envious that not only did he claim proprietorship of all the universe, the whole universe, but in order to do that, he was willing to perform severe austerities. And as a result of the austerity, all he wanted was to enjoy. And if that wasn't enough, his own son, who refused to agree with his father, he was willing to kill him and torture him. That's how much he felt the ownership of everything. Same Ravan and Hiranyakashipu, who was the brother of Hiranyakashipu, came back 5,000 years ago as Shishupal. And with the help of his friend Rukmi, then he wanted to enjoy Rukmini, wanted to marry him. Well, Rukmini is Lakshmi as well. She's the property of Krishna. She cannot be enjoyed by Shishupal, but he wanted to. As a result, he was also punished. But the point is that this is the demoniac tendency that we have, we the living entity have, to enjoy what belongs to Krishna, what's owned by Krishna, what is property of Krishna, and therefore he's the only one who is eligible to enjoy. But here we are always fighting. So this tendency to claim the ownership is an illusion. Prabhupada uses the term, we like to be the Lord of all we survey, which means we want to own everything. Even when we are in mode of goodness, we do the same thing. So in the Vedas it says, Janasya moha aham mameti. It's a real illusion, this tendency of I and mine. I am this, I am that, I am so powerful, I want this, I want that. This is mine, that is mine. This car is mine, this house is mine, this wife is mine, this country is mine, so on and so forth. That's the illusion. And so even when we are in mode of goodness, and we try to or like to do good to others. So for example, a lot of philanthropists, they like to give donation. Somebody is opening a hospital, somebody is donating for a wing in the hospital, somebody is opening a business school. But even when we are doing that, we want to point out to everybody who's listening that it was my money. I'm giving you my money. I own that money. It's mine. But I'm such a nice guy, I'm giving it to you. And for that, make sure at least my name is there. So you have Schulich School of Business, your Rotmus School of Business, you have this person's wing for the cancer research, you have this person's name, hospital, so on and so forth. They want to make sure their name's there in the papers, in his functions by the city, and his honor and his plaque coming their way, and they're known as the big philanthropist. So even there, when they're giving it, they're still saying, no, it was my ownership, but I'm just a nice person, I'm giving it to you. As opposed to a devotee's thought process who says, no, everything does belong to Krishna. Even if Krishna has put me in a position to give something to somebody else, I understand that this is Krishna's property and I'm simply an instrument doing on his behalf for somebody else. In other words, the devotee says, I'm simply a delivery man. A parcel has come to me from Krishna, I'm delivering it to this person. Simply to please Krishna. Now that is the real understanding of who's the owner. Not that it's mine and I'm nice, I give it to you, or no, it's mine, I simply enjoy it. No. It is Krishna's property. It is for Krishna's enjoyment. But he has made me an instrument, has put me in a position where I can do something with it for the good of others. So that's the first thing, we have to understand that. But once we understand that, then it becomes very easy to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also the Supreme Controller. But can you hear me there at the back? Yeah. So, Krishna is the Supreme Controller. Which means that nothing happens without his will. Nothing happens without his sanction. Our problem is that we also find that very difficult to accept. What do you mean? I'm strong, I'm rich, I'm powerful, I'm popular, I can do what I want. And on my own I've become a multi-millionaire. On my own I've started this company, I got 5,000 people working for me. On my own I've become the Prime Minister of this country, now everybody works for me. On my own I've done this, I've done that. And therefore I control your life, I'll decide what you do, what you cannot do. In that process, again, forgetting who's the real controller. So not only that in itself is a problem, but the big problem with that thought process is that we will never ask for help. Because we are convinced that we are in control, so we can help others. There's nobody strong enough, big enough to help us. And therefore, regardless of what problems we have, we can never cry for Krishna's help. And we know that unless we ask Krishna for help, there is no salvation for us. We may be Prime Minister of a country today, we may be the President of a country today, we may be the richest person in the world today, but as soon as we leave this body, it's all gone. And even if you have been the biggest philanthropist in the world, you're still stuck in this material world, which Krishna says is full of miseries, and there is no peace. So therefore, we have to come to a point where we say, on our own, we cannot do anything. And you have to go to the person who can. And our problem is that even when we go for help, we don't go to Krishna. We go to our friends, we go to our relatives, we go to people who we think can help. In India, there's an expression saying, there's a source, and let's go to that source and they'll help us. So we go to the material sources, we don't go to the transcendental resources we have. That is the source we have. Let's look at some stories quickly. We all know the story of Gajendra, the elephant king. He was extremely powerful. He had hundreds of wives, literally hundreds of children, whole set of army of elephants. He was very powerful. And he had his own tract of land in the forest. He'd be walking there like a king, which he was. And as you know, one day he decided to go and cavort with his family in a lake. He went to the lake. Unfortunately, bad timing, he got caught by a crocodile. And the crocodile grabbed his foot and wouldn't let go. They had to fight for thousand celestial years. In those 1,000 years, his friends, his army, his children, his wives, they all tried to help him to get him out of the jaws of the crocodile. None could. They tried and tried and tried. Finally, they were defeated and they just came outside the lake. They were standing at the bank, at the shore of the lake, just looking at this elephant king, suffering. He was doing everything in his power that he could, but he was not in his own, what you call, area. An elephant is a land person. He's not a water person. So for example, if we ask ourselves to live underwater, it would be very difficult. On land it's not so bad. If we take a bird to say go live under the water, it's very difficult. On a tree it's no problem. But for a fish, there's no issue. They're used to living in the water. They're a creature of water. They actually thrive. Crocodile is the same way. It thrives in water. So therefore, as time passed by, the crocodile was getting stronger and the elephant was getting weaker. Came to a point where he realized, I cannot win, I'm about to die. And you can imagine the desperation a person or a living entity feels at the time of death. So now he's looking at his soldiers. They are crying, they're looking at him and they're looking very desperate but helpless. They're saying, I'm so sorry, my dear king, I can't help you. We tried. He's looking at his wives, they're crying. They're saying, we can't help you. He's looking at his children, they're crying. He's saying, we have tried, Daddy, but we can't help you. Everybody in the surrounding who's there watching helplessly is simply shaking their head. We're so sorry, we can't help you. So having tried everybody he could think of and finding out they are not in a position to help, finally he came to his senses and he remembered Krishna. So he plucked a flower and simply offered it to Krishna with a prayer and a request for help. The moment he offered his prayer, there was Krishna, Lord Vishnu, in his carrier Garuda, chopping off the head of the crocodile, thus releasing the elephant king. But the elephant king had to be in that desperate, helpless situation and recognize that he is in a helpless situation. Krishna is the only one who can help. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Controller. He controls everything. Only he can help. And then Krishna was there. Okay, look at another story of Draupadi. Yeah. Draupadi was a queen. Her 5 husbands were considered the strongest individuals in the world at that time. Arjun was the best, what's the word called? Arrow. Archer, thank you. Best archer in the world. Bhima had the strength of 10,000 elephants. He was considered best person to fight with a mace. Nakul and Sahadev were the best people to fight with spears. So they were not ordinary people. They were children of demigods, very, very powerful. So there was Dushasan trying to strip Draupadi naked, and she was looking at her husbands, all 5 of them. Please, you are my husbands. You have taken a vow to save my honor. My honor is at stake, so come and help me. And they're simply sitting there with their head bowed down saying, we're not in a position to help you. Bhishma Pitama was there, the great grandfather. She was looking at him and said, grandfather, you're here in your presence, this is going on. Save me. I am your Bahu, I'm your daughter-in-law. My honor is your responsibility, so save me. And he was simply going his head down saying, I'm not in the position yet. She looked at Dhritarashtra and said, you're my father-in-law, you help me. You're the king. And simply sitting there, I can't. So she went to everyone she could think of, everyone who was present. Dronacharya was there, Kripacharya was there. All these warriors, teachers, relatives, all there. They are simply going their head down saying, I'm very sorry, we want to, but we're not able to. It was then, and of course she was trying on her own, trying to save herself from being stripped naked. She was holding on to the sari. But Dushasana also had the strength of 6,000 elephants. So he was no ordinary person either. So Draupadi had no chance. Finally, she remembered who is the Supreme Personality of God. She raised her hand and said, "Oh Mukunda, oh Govinda, oh Krishna, now my honor is in your hands, please come and save me." But there was desperation in her voice. There was hopelessness in her heart. And she had come to the conclusion, there is no one but Krishna to help me. As soon as she got to that point, she cried out for Krishna. Helplessly, Krishna was there, supplying her miles and miles and miles of sorry. So much that Dushasan, a person with the strength of 6,000 elephants, was tired pulling the sorry, and he wasn't done. He finally gave up. Why? Because Krishna was there to help. There are many other stories like that in the scriptures. But even Arjuna, let's look at Arjuna. There is Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra before it has begun. As I was saying, Arjuna is the world famous archer. Arjuna knows I can kill all of them. But he became totally confused. What is my duty? Should I kill? Should I not kill? Should I get killed myself? What should I do? And he tried to lodge it with Krishna. He tried to provide arguments to Krishna. He tried to discuss with Krishna. And nothing was helping until he realized, I have no hope on my own. I may be the best archer, I may be the strongest one. On my own, I cannot help this situation. So he immediately surrendered to Krishna. He says, Karpane dosho upadhat subhava prachamitam dham samudcheta. I am totally confused. I have no idea what my duty is. So you please tell me, what is my duty? Yat shayashan nishitam brutam shishasteham shadimam tamprapanam. I completely surrendered to you. And before the Gita ended, he simply said, Kadishye vachanam tav. I will follow all your instructions. You just tell me what I need to do. And then everything was okay. Because Krishna was there saying, yes, I will tell you what to do. So, having understood that we are not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer, the next stage comes when we say, we are also not the controllers. Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He decides what will happen. He decides what should happen. He decides what would happen. He knows the present, he knows the past, he knows the future. He determines. His a plan and only that plan is executed. Nobody else's plan is executed. But we have been put in a situation which is a hopeless situation. This place that we live in, this material world, is a place full of miseries. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. No matter who we are, we will suffer from the miseries. Only salvation is that we go to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Control. As soon as we do that, then a light bulb goes on. And we also come to the realization, which is the third point of this verse, which is actually He's our well-wisher. So if we do everything for His enjoyment and we depend upon Him for everything because He's the Supreme Controller, He will manifest His nature of our well-wisher and our best friend immediately. He's manifesting it all the time. We're not able to see it, but then we will be able to see it. And we will not only be able to see it, we will be able to reciprocate. We'll reciprocate Krishna's friendship with us by showing our friendship to Him. And how do we do that? We do that by our eagerness to serve Krishna. No eagership, no friendship. No friendship, no eager. Sorry, eagership. Eagerness. No eagerness, no friendship. No friendship, no eagerness. And until and unless we are eager, utsahat nischyat dharyat tatkabhavanat, says in the third instruction, we have to be enthusiastic, which means we must be eager to serve Krishna. Let's take the example of the Gopa friends of Krishna in Vrindavan. Let's look at a typical day in their life. It's morning before sunrise, perhaps 4 in the morning. All these 4, 5-year-old kids. They're up. Get up on their own. Mother doesn't have to wake them up. How many mothers or fathers here have to wake up the children to go to school? Come on, get up, time to go. And they say, oh, come on, mom, another half hour. But not these kids. They're up before the mom is coming to their bedroom to wake them up. They're up and they need to get out. The mom is stopping them. No, wait a minute. You take bath. But mom, I'm getting late. No, take a bath. They take bath. Then they're running out. Oh no, wait a minute. You have to comb your hair. Put some oil in your hair. Mom, you're getting late. No, put some oil in your hair. Comb your hair. Okay, I'm running out. No, you have to have some breakfast. No, mom, we're going to eat with Krishna. We're getting late. He's waiting for us. No, you got to eat something first. No, mom. So there's a fight going on between kids and their mom or father because kids want to leave so they can go serve Krishna. And parents are saying, no, wait, do this, do that, do that. They're so eager to go there. Finally, they somehow manage to get out. They go there to Krishna's house. Krishna was sleeping because it's really early. These boys couldn't wait. Then Maharaj comes out, says, let him sleep for a few moments, don't make so much noise. In the meantime, we'll get the cows ready. So why don't you come and help with the cows? So they all go help with the cows. They all come out. In the meantime, the servants, they're getting Krishna ready. The closer friends of Krishna like Subal, Madhumangal, these people, they go into Krishna's bedroom. They say, Krishna, come on, get ready, we got to go. So finally Krishna's ready, he comes out. And of course Yashoda Maiya, who also wants to serve her son, she comes out. She does not want this separation of a whole day from him. So she's playing the same tricks the other boys' parents have already played with them. Oh Krishna, you have not eaten, so eat first. Krishna, let me comb your hair. Krishna, let me put this peacock feather on your hair. And of course, Krishna does not want to be attended to by his mother, in front of his friends. It's kind of embarrassing, right? If your mother came and said, go to the mall and I'll touch your hair a little bit, and you'll be very embarrassed. Krishna is the same, he's getting embarrassed. He says, no, mom, let me go. But mother wants to serve her son. She doesn't want to let him go. So she's, any pretense will do. Oh, here is some laddu for you, here's some halwa for you, here's some dish for you. Your parting is not quite right on the hair. Let me just change this a little bit. Let me put something on your face because it's going to be very hard. One excuse or the other. Let me adjust your dhoti, it's not quite right. And he just wants to get out. But she wants to serve. So finally she says, okay, I will let you go if you agree that every hour, on the hour, I can send a servant to you with some food. And you promise you will eat it. And that servant will come back, give me a report that everything's okay. And another hour, some other servant will come. Do you agree? Otherwise I will let you go. So Krishna just wants to get rid of his mom. Okay, fine. You can do that. They leave. Now the friends are very happy. They go. What is the first thing they do? They sit down. They start taking out whatever they brought. Whatever food they brought, which their mother gave them for them to eat, they don't want to eat. All they want to do is feed Krishna. So they eat, feeding everything they brought from home, their home, to Krishna. And of course, what's Krishna doing? He eats a half piece and gives back to them. He's feeding his friends. Whatever Yashoda Maiya sent to him, he's feeding to his friends. And this is going on. But the excitement that's there is unbelievable because they're feeling that love, that friendship for each other. Every once in a while, that excitement, that serving each other is interrupted. By whom? A demon. He says, okay, fine. A demon comes, a demon gets killed. Krishna comes back, and the kids just want to play. They don't care how that demon. One time, Palambasur, there's another demon. He came, and it took some time for Lord Balaram to kill him. When he came back to the friends, what do you think they said? Oh, great work, kill a demon? No, they chastised him. What took you so long? Don't you know we're waiting? Because they're so eager to play with Krishna and Balaram. They simply wait while Balaram is busy killing a demon. It's too long. That's the enthusiasm. That's the eagerness they have to serve Krishna. They play with Krishna not for their enjoyment. It's their service to Krishna. Even when they have this wrestling match, they defeat Krishna and they tell Krishna, okay, you got to carry us on your shoulder. That's their service to Krishna. That's not their enjoyment. Look at me, I'm on the shoulders of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's carrying me, I'm so great. No. They're doing it because Krishna enjoys it. It's for Krishna's enjoyment. That eagerness to enjoy Krishna supersedes everything. All the rules, all the traditions, they don't matter. Krishna is son of a king. But they don't care because they're so engrossed, so involved, so immersed in their desire to serve Krishna, all these things don't matter. So as a result, in their mind, there's nothing but trying to figure out how best to serve Krishna. So when all these three things come together, when everything we do is for the pleasure of Krishna, not for our own pleasure, which means our service is unmotivated. In other words, we're not looking for a material result from our service. When we recognize Krishna is the supreme controller, then all our worries go away. Because like a 2-year-old boy who doesn't care whether it's hot or cold outside, whether it's raining outside, whether we are poor or rich, that 2-year-old boy knows that whatever I need will be provided by my parents. If I'm too hot, they'll take a couple of days off. If I'm too cold, they'll put a couple of days in. If I'm hungry, they'll feed me. If I'm crying, they'll pick me up. Whatever my needs are, they will be completed by my parents. Of course, I won't complain if they put a blue shirt on me or they put a red shirt on me. So I'm dependent upon them, but I also have this confidence they'll take care of me. So a devotee comes to that point when he says, Krishna is the supreme controller, Krishna is the supreme personality of God. And when that leads to this feeling of Krishna is my friend, and serving Krishna in that mood, that this will make Krishna happy and I'm very eager to serve Krishna, if that's all I want to do, then something amazing happens. And what that is, when we chant Krishna's name, when we serve Krishna with any of the other 8 processes of devotional service, what happens? For example, is like chanting. Generally speaking, when you're chanting, the name of Krishna is trying to enter through our heart, through our ears, into our brain, into our mind, into our heart. But there's so much noise that's hitting the ear membranes that almost becomes a block. Nothing goes in. And if something does go in, there's another wall called our false ego. That's a solid steel 10-foot wide wall. And nothing penetrates it. Just reflecting. Hare Krishna, bing, it comes out. Hare Krishna, bing, it comes out. Because nothing is going in. But when these 3 things happen, when we recognize Krishna is the supreme controller, supreme personality of Godhead, when we recognize everything is for Krishna's pleasure, it's for His satisfaction, and when we recognize Krishna is our well-wisher, our best friend, suddenly these walls open. And a passage is created from our ears, through our brain, into our heart. Now our heart is a very funny thing, because I don't know if you know it, there's a hole in our heart. And this hole has a very peculiar shape. It's not round, it's not a square, it's not octagonal, it's not hexagonal, but it's in the shape of Krishna. Now, anyone work with jigsaw puzzles? You have these pieces of puzzle. It has to fit exactly right. If it doesn't, it won't fit there, you will have a hole. So we try to fit that into that hole, everything we conceive. Material things, other kind of things, sometimes money, sometimes power, sometimes fame, sometimes wife, husband, children, houses, other property, cars. Try to fit it, but nothing fits. As a result, That hole is always there, and that hole is what we call emptiness in our heart. So no matter who we are, no matter what we have accomplished, somehow deep inside we feel empty. That's why we're not happy. That's why we're not at peace. Something is gnawing at us. There's something lacking. What's lacking is that hole that's not filled. So when those three things happen, we realize everything is for Krishna's satisfaction. We realize Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the Supreme Controller, and He's our well-wisher. He's our friend. We are His friend. Suddenly Krishna does enter through that passage from the ears through the brain to your heart, and He finds that hole that's in the shape of Krishna, and He sits there very nicely. Narottam Das Thakur says, in glorifying the Vaishnavas, Tomar Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishra. Lord Krishna is resting in the heart of His pure devotees. Resting, not lying down. Take an example of those parents who have little children, 4, 5, 6 years old. They're in the bedroom, early in the morning, the door opens with a bang, kids come running into the bed, jump on the bed, Mommy, 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 Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. We can't be resting when every 5 little children are coming. Similarly, Krishna can't be resting in our heart when every 2 minutes or 2 seconds a material desire is coming. Krishna, I want a car, Krishna, I want a job, Krishna, I want a husband, Krishna, I want a daughter-in-law, Krishna, I want a father-in-law. All those things. How can he rest? The boat is going like this. He can't rest. But in the devotee's heart, there is no material desires coming. It's very calm. There's nobody knocking on the door. So he's resting. He's actually resting. And when he's resting, and the hole is filled, every corner is filled, there's no vacuum. Therefore, there's no emptiness. And therefore, there's complete peace. We are there with Krishna in our heart actually resting. Not just in the Paramatma feature, but in that three-folded, two-handed form playing his flute, the Vrindavan Krishna is there. And when he is there, the knowledge is there. Surya Sam Maya Adhikar. Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Adhikar. So there is no illusion there. When there is no illusion, we don't think we are the lords of all we survey. When there is no illusion, we don't think we are the enjoyers. When there is no illusion, we don't think we are the masters. We are not the controllers. And we are not in illusion. We know Krishna is our best friend. Krishna is our well-wisher. And therefore, we are at peace because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening. We are busy thinking about Krishna. We are busy serving Krishna. We are busy planning how we are going to serve Krishna next. We are busy planning how can we better serve Krishna. How can we improve our service. How can we improve our chanting. How can we improve our sadhana. It's all about man mana bhav mad bhakta. How do I become a better devotee? How do I please Krishna? Everything we do, before we do it, we say, is this going to please Krishna? And we do it only if the answer is yes. If the answer is yes, our mind is then focused completely onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and nothing can bother us. Nothing can disturb us. Nothing can disturb the peace of the mind of that devotee who is so focused onto the lotus feet of Krishna. Nothing else matters. It's like those children who are playing with Krishna. Yashoda could be calling them for hours, they wouldn't hear. Their parents could be calling them for hours, they wouldn't hear. But when Krishna called, they were there. Because that's the only thing their ears were tuned to. That's the only thing that their mind was tuned to. That's the only thing their brain was tuned to. That was the only thing that made their body move. That's how absorbed they were in the thoughts of Krishna all the time. So this peace formula is very effective if only you can understand those 3 elements of Krishna consciousness. It's also known as bhakti, which is Krishna is the enjoyer, we are not. We do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is the Supreme Controller. He controls time, He controls planets, He controls demigods, everything. And He's our well-wisher. He only wants what's good for us. He's our best friend. And in that mood, when we serve Krishna, we are at peace, and we serve Him to the best of our ability. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we have 5 minutes and questions.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a fabulous class. On behalf of everybody, I would like to thank you, especially where you mentioned, we have a hole in our heart, and that's shaped as Krishna, and nothing else fits in like the jigsaw puzzle. So thank you so much for that. Prabhu, the question is, our acharyas teaches that Indra is like a karma mishra bhakta, where he's a devotee, but also mixed with desires, material desires, especially
Sakam.
He's envious of others because he's worried about his position, and he makes the mistakes again and again, almost the same mistakes again and again, like the parichada pastime after. Now, but also in the wonderful class that you gave us, we heard how Hiranyakashipu is trying to assume everything is his, and similarly how Ravana is trying to enjoy Sita, property of the Lord, and also Shishupal, again with Rukmini. So we know Jaya and Vijay, when they came in 3 different material lives, they are not like Indra, or they are exalted devotees. But still we see that they make almost the same mistakes in the 3 lifetimes where they're trying to annex the supreme, the goddess of fortune. So is the assumption right that it is for us to learn again and again? We need to learn it again and again, not that they are not learning from the mistakes.
Did everybody hear the question? So he's basically saying Jay and Vijay were devotees of Krishna, they were the doorkeepers. And they came as Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and Shishupal, Dantavakra. And each time they came, they made the same mistake of being envious of Krishna and wanting to enjoy the property of Krishna. So the question he's asking is it because they didn't learn the lesson the first time, the second time? And also they were devotees, so how come they were doing it? Did I get the question right? So, as you know from the famous story, they were cursed to become demons. Which means as a result of the curse, the mentality was changed. From a devotional mentality, they attained demoniac mentality. So it was in the demoniac mentality that they were trying to enjoy Krishna's property. They were trying to be the owners, proprietors of everything. So the demons don't really learn the lesson very well. That's why they're demons. But also in this case, the assumption is that every time they took their birth, they forgot whatever happened in the previous life. So because, as we know, the curse of a sage like Kumara's can be very powerful and had been sanctioned by Lord Vishnu himself. So therefore, they were acting in this demoniac mentality which was making them do what they were doing. Not as Jay and Vijay. Jay and Vijay in their original mentality would never do anything like that. Did I answer the question? Yes.
Thank you for the excellent one. You really filled our hearts with so much Krishna.
With Krishna,
With so much Krishna. Thank you so much. My question is, one of the names for Krishna is Abad Bandhavan. He
Is what?
Abad Bandhavan, he helps you at the time of need,
Okay.
right? And you were mentioning in your class that, if we cry for help to Krishna, he will be there to protect you. But as far as devotees are concerned, right, going back to that game of dice in the Mahabharata, Krishna was very dear to the Pandavas, right? He was their cousin, and he was very dear to the Pandavas, and he was their well-wisher as well, right? Why didn't Krishna go to their help and tell, Yudhishthira, don't play this game of dice because they are conniving you? And why didn't he stop, them into indulging in such another big activity? Well, that's one part of the question. But the same thing is the Gopas. They did not cry for help as well, but he was always there to protect them. So why didn't he protect the Pandavas, and why did he protect the Gopas? Did protect the Gopas.
So again, did everybody hear the question? Yes, no? No? Okay. So the question is, Krishna was very dear to the Pandavas. He was actually their cousin. So why did he not stop Yudhishthira Maharaj from playing that game of dice, which he knew would result in problems? Why did he not stop those events from occurring, which would have prevented the war and saved the Pandavas from a lot of miseries? On the other hand, he protected the Gopa friends even before they asked for help. So what's the reason, what's the difference? It's time, huh? Just give me one moment, I'll just answer this question. So first of all, Krishna has a plan and he executes things according to his plan. In this case, his plan was to assemble 643 million people who had become a burden on this planet Earth. Get them all in one place and kill them all. Otherwise, he would have had to work very hard and go in different places for like much too long. This is the same reason as why he did not kill Jarasandha. He allowed him to attack Mathura 17 times and did not kill him. So somebody asked him the same thing. I mean, he could have killed Jarasandha just like kill everybody else. Why did he keep letting him go back, knowing full well he's going to come back with another army and attack you again? So same answer to both questions, which is Krishna smiled with this person who was asking about Jarasandha. Then why would I want to kill my recruiting agent? Jarasandha is my recruiting agent. He's bringing the demons to me so I can kill them. If I kill him, those demons will not come. So I'm giving him 17 opportunities as my recruiting agent for 17 times to bring those demons I can kill them. So similarly, had he stopped Yudhishthira from doing this, or Duryodhana from doing what he was doing, then this battle of Kurukshetra would not happen. But Krishna wanted this battle to happen so he could have these 643 million people who had developed demoniac mentality or had become a burden on planet Earth for whatever reasons, and how would he kill them? So it was totally according to his plan. He didn't want this stuff. He wanted all these things to happen so he would have this opportunity to do that. It's totally all by his plan. As far as the Gopa friends are concerned, he's there always to protect them. So they were going to come and harass his devotee friends. But also, there was a danger that they will come and harm my friends. So for example, Aghasur had all the children in his mouth. Bakasura would have started to eat them. The forest fire would have consumed all of them. So there was real danger to his friends. So he was protecting them, whether they deliberately asked or specifically asked or not, but the purpose was the same. So purpose in both cases was same. In some examples, there was no explicit request, but he did that anyway because otherwise they would be in danger. And in some cases there was explicit request. For example, the fire case, there was explicit request. Or the case of Kaliya, specific request, cows are dying, cows are dying, do something. Right? So it's both combination of both. But the bottom line is, it's according to his plan. Whatever his plan, he works. Okay? So I think that's it. Thank you so much.
लक्ष्मी मवान सिंह भगवान की गौर निताय की श्री प्रभुपाद की
Krishna Hare
Ganga baje, Ganga baje, Madhur Madhur, Madhur baje. Ganga baje, Ganga baje, Madhur Madhur, Madhur baje.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nitya Leela Pravishto Vishnupada Paramhans Shri Shri Aksawad Shri Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Gauritai ki jai. Radha Krishna Milit Tanu Vipulam Vigrah Shri Gaur Sundar ki jai. श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय, श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय, गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, श्री श्याम कुंड श्री राधा कुंड की जय, श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ की जय, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ श्री बलदेव श्रीमती सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, भक्ति विघ्न विनाशकारी नृसिंहदेव की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Narasimhayo Jagadish महाराज जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि